Hey everyone. I am going to be kind of running, whether you're a new player, a seasoned veteran, or just really anyone, kind of the my steps to helping you improve. Um, this will probably be a very, very long series as you can always improve at anything you do in life. Um, but this obviously will be pertaining to Rocket League. So obviously, when you first load the game up, you do your tutorial, and you kind of get put through the basics. Not really. The game doesn't really do much for you to as much of a tutorial, and then it puts you into a little match with AI, with like their AI or their bots, and you got to try and beat them and score on them. And uh, I'm gonna try and what I'm gonna do is for any beginners or intermediates that want to get better at Rocket League, run you through what I think you should be doing and focusing on improving. And the first thing I will say is making sure you have your controller keybinds or your keyboard keybinds set to where you want them, right? Because if you don't have that set, then you're not gonna feel comfortable on your car and your car control, because what's really important about this is your car control. Car control is like number one thing, apart from positioning, whether it's in relation to your teammates or in relation to the opponents. But first things first, you should have proper keybinds, and you could have your settings at default, and I'll go ahead and put mine to default real quick, show you what those would look like. And so if you're on Xbox like I am, you would have forward and reverse at right trigger and left trigger, steering on your left joystick, jumping on A, boost on B, power slide on X, and air roll on LT. And this is regular air roll or free air roll, not air roll directional. We'll get into that in a second. And then your ball camera would be Y. Rear view would be pressing your right joystick. And then air steering, or like when you jump in the air and you want to move your car, you could air pitch up and down or left to right. And then they don't have these bound because this didn't originally come with the game when they first released Rocket League, so they added these later on. And I have my arrow left bound to my left joystick, so when I press my left joystick, I enable arrow left, and arrow right bound to B. Skipping replay on A, and then moving your camera so like if you need to get information and you need to look around you, you would use your right joystick to move it, not pressing it down, but just moving it. I actually disable my scoreboard as I don't think it's appropriate to look at it during game. The only thing that matters is you and your team if you're winning or not, because that's if you're playing to improve and competitively, that's what you want. And then these are like kind of music tracks, capturing goals. These don't really pertain to anything. And these are quick chats, which if you want to, if you they are helpful if you're not queuing with a party. But if this doesn't really apply to you and you're just looking at information and you're always aware around you, these don't really matter. Sometimes in the heat of a moment when you can't really have the luxury to look around, these kind of help. But and then everything else is kind of just its own thing. Some of it is replay review, and some of it are, yeah, replay controls and whatnot. I'll get to that in another video, but I'll go ahead and change my settings back to the way I have them. So I have my drive and my reverse at regular. My jump is at A, my boost is at RB, my power slide and my air roll is at LB. My rear view is the same button, and yeah, that is pretty much how I have my controls. And then if you're on computer, regardless if you like the better graphics and you have a computer that can handle it, obviously, like, you can turn everything to high quality, or whatnot. My computer can handle this pretty consistently with everything I do, in terms of recording and streaming, and I keep all of these off. Every now and then I'll turn a different setting on to maybe try and feel different at the game, give myself a different placebo effect, but... And then this is the audio I use. I sometimes have my audio lower, around 50, so... And then, like I said, depending on what you do. And then, that is what I would say would be the first thing you'd want to mess with when you load up Rocket League, and if you're looking to actually level your game up, choosing keybinds that fit for you. And so for the way I hold my controller, I have my middle finger on my triggers and my index finger on my bumpers. Or if you're a PlayStation controller user, my middle fingers are on my R1 and L1, and my middle fingers are on my L2 and R2. And so going into the next thing I think you should be doing to improve, I think you should either come into free play or custom training and choosing a training pack, or honestly any of these tutorials. I'll run through a tutorial, both the basic and advanced. These kind of help give you a good idea what it's like. You can't really use anything besides just driving. And then, yeah, you can't really miss the ball either. They say you can't miss this. There's not really any room for error. And so if you just follow through the tutorial and do what it says to do, and so now I'm just gonna be boosting to beat him, right? Beating Swabby. And so this one, the arrow floating next to your car points towards the ball. So it is talking about that little gray flashing arrow to the right of my car. Tapping Y focuses your camera on the ball and can be toggled back and forth. And find the ball and hit it into the orange goal. And now this is the big thing. And for a lot of players, I think this is a very underutilized skill. So notice how my car is facing forward, right? I look to the right, I'm flipping my right joystick, and you can, as I pan across the field, I'm kind of getting, at a moment's notice, everything that's happening over there, right? And same thing if I'm double tapping my Y button, and I'll turn my transition speed down a lot for everyone, so it's not like super fast. It's kind of like that, right? So when you double tap Y and you're in the moment and you're getting boost pads when you're off the ball, you're getting information. And I think that's something a lot of people could benefit from, is always being able to look around you and getting whatever information you can. I have mine at a higher speed because I always look to the right with my joystick, and I also double tap my Y button. So now this is just telling you to power slide, drifting. And another thing that is different you'll find is every car has a different turn radius. So not every car will have the same turn radius. I'm using the Octane right now because just to show you that you'll probably start with the Octane. You'll probably want to use the Octane. You'll see a lot of high-level players using it. And then, yeah. And so now I have to rechange my settings. I forgot they changed these settings. But when you go into free play, you can actually defend shot, launch the ball, pass the ball, start dribble, and take possession. And so I'm trying to think. I'm just going to clear defend the shot because I think it's passing the ball you can kind of use for what's it called, as a defensive measure. So, and now I have to reset my bind to resetting the ball. Where is that? Here we go. So I have this bound to X. Whatever is also comfortable for you. Like, you don't have to use my keybinds at all. At whatsoever. And so now the other thing I wanted to show you before we end this quick tutorial, I want to show you a lot of boost pad routes, because a big thing about this game is you get to drive a car, but you also get to boost. And you get to go supersonic with the boost. So I want to show you some boost pad routes, and I want to show a lot of people that how you can move around the field. You can flip over them easily, or you could just boost over them, whatever you want to do. And I'll go ahead and switch to a new map, one that I like a little better when I'm playing free play, and then yeah, we'll get into it. Alright, so we're on the map Urban Central Night. It doesn't really matter what standard map you use to do free play, or any map, but if you're always looking to improve at standard, obviously knowing the standard map is a big plus. So one thing I will say, when you start really looking to improve at Rocket League and you want to improve your small skills that you don't really think about when you're playing in matches, turning your boost from unlimited to standard. And so I'll go ahead and waste all my boost and show you a bunch of boost pad routes that I take when I'm in match, whether I'm playing in a competitive series, best of 3, a best of 5, or a best of 7, or I'm just playing casual ranked matches online, or I'm doing anything. So if you're on defense, right, you have your 3 boost pads right there that you can take. You can drive around in a circle, and these boost pads. And as you can see, these boost pads kind of refill pretty quick, right? I'm just tapping my boost and I'm getting them, and I can do it going the other way too. So, and I'm kind of speeding up, and it takes these boost pads just about 4 seconds. So if you see the game clock up top and you see it ticking down and you see a boost pad get taken, you can count down 4 seconds and it'll get brought back up. So when I'm on defense, and whether I'm on this side Or I'll flip to the other side and show you. Same premise, right? I missed that boost pad, but collectively, I'm picking up 36. I'm picking up 36 right here, and then I'm picking up another 36, so a total of 72, and by the time I get back to this boost pad, it's 84 total boost, which, what I'm going to do, I'm going to waste a lot of boost. And so I'm going to count what's 1 Mississippi over, right? So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, and I wasted some boost there, so about 7 seconds, right? This boost pad takes about 10 seconds, right? So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi. Boom. I picked up 80 boost in 7 seconds versus this one, right? And I was actively moving and putting myself in different positions in relation to my net instead of waiting for a big boost to spawn. Instead of being stagnant in the corner and not being really helpful. And a lot of people will probably do this, and sometimes I even do this too. You might see some gameplay from me where I might just sit over here, standing on a corner, just, you know, waiting to take someone's boost, right? Because I think it's the best thing to do in the moment, wasting the opponent's boost. I never try to do it on my own, because it is always, in my opinion, better to put yourself in net and try and make an attempt on the save than it is to just be out of the play completely and not be there at all for an attempt. So right here, you have your 72 boost, right? You have your 72 boost pads over here. And a good practice is actually just doing what I'm doing, right? Just making sure so you can do this with ball cam on instead of having to, so you know where they're at, just subliminating, right? So you just do this while you're rotating, and boom. You might not pick the pad up every single time, but the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. And so then if you're going from line to line, right? If you chose you need to go to a side, if you drive in a straight line, you pick up all of these pads for the most part. And that is, let's count. So you get 12, 24, 36, 48, 59, 72. 72 boost. And that is a boost line on either side. So you could say, if you have two teammates coming back, and you're coming back from offense, right? That is 59 boost, 60 boost for both of you, collectively. And the opponent could be waiting on these big boost pads over here. And so that's just one pad route I'd like to take. Another thing is, you can drive in straight lines right here. Do the same thing, and then you take an angle and cut, and same thing, straight line. And that is 84 boost right there. Now granted, during a match, you might be using some of it, but at the same time, if you're collecting the resource and the other team isn't, that is overall and better for you and your team, because then the opponent doesn't have resources to use. And so you can also apply these angles to both sides, right? So you want to start from here, straight line. I kind of missed that one, and then you come here and 72, just like that. So now here's another thing, like there's also side-by-side line. So you have 236 boost right here, 324 boost, not technically in a straight line, but pretty much to the side, right? And so then you have this one from right here, if you start at this far pad, come over, and then the same thing. And so that's essentially 100 boost. And so all you have to do, if you don't want to waste anything, if you don't want to waste any boost, and you want to get some speed, flip, and then flip into it. And I took a different route, but essentially, if that is your ultimate goal, is you want to get those boost pads, and you don't really care where the ball's at, and you know you have time to get pads, get these pads. And so look at that, with one flip, I got 36 boost, with one singular flip. Granted I was moving, but still with one flip. And so, just like that, right? And I'm not even doing anything crazy. Like, I'm trying not to show you guys too many crazy things, because this game can get pretty confusing, to say the least. And then, so apart from those routes you might not have known about, there's also the ones you do know about, right? There's the one straight down the field, and that's only 72 boost right there, right? Like, that's not fun. If you're just going straight back and forth, like, this is kind of useless. Better routes are taking angles around the field, taking angles like these, and keeping yourself in a spot where you can turn easily. If you can't turn easily, if you can't like turn this way, or you can't turn this way, it's kind of detrimental to your gameplay, because then you're not able to cover a lot of space. So what you want to be doing is, instead of going straight up and down the field and taking pad routes like these, you kind of want to be coming around, coming into the angle of attack, and then scoring like that. So, like, say the ball's right here. You need to rotate out, get some pads, and all of a sudden, oh, no one's at the ball. Just drive it, go up there, hit it. And obviously, for a lot of my friends that might see this, and people around my rank, that will never happen, because people might be on the ball. But, hey, it might not. The ball might be right here, right? Ball might be right here. You flip. Oh, all of a sudden, get some boost. Hey, look, I missed it. But the other thing was, I got 24 boost. Boom. And all of a sudden, I put myself back into play with 24 boost. I tried not to use more than 24 because I had more than 24 boost, but the idea of it is, if the ball's right here, or the ball is falling in that general direction, and you get 24 boost right there, you can turn around, use your boost, or you could just turn around and flip. And another good indication of these outside pad routes, these pad routes typically tend to put you in position in good relation with the ball. And so what I mean by that is, a lot of gameplay, a lot of where the ball will be in this little area. A lot of the dangerous gameplay that will get you goals and get you saves on the ball and get you beating the opponents. A lot of the slower gameplay will happen on the wall, and what you'll see is, at higher levels, players will try and take the ball up the wall and try and do something with it. And mainly because the idea is, you get boost and you get ball. So if you have the space and you have the time, you definitely should do something like this, but you shouldn't really be worrying about this type of play until later on, because it's really a type of play where you have to rely on a lot of factors. You have to rely on your teammates being able to bump and demo the other team and open up space for you. and you have to rely that they have no boost and you've taken a lot of their boost. Whereas if you're playing the game a lot through the center of the field, you're putting pressure on the net very, very aggressively, right? And so if you're constantly getting shots taken at you and you're constantly having to block it, and you're constantly having to save your boost, you know, like try and show you guys what a lot of this stuff will look like, so you don't have to, so you see what it looks like where a shot might be happening. And another thing is, I'm not using a lot of boost to save this ball. I'm using as little as I can. And so, other thing is, when I'm flipping into it, I'm always making sure I'm landing too. I'm landing properly. I'm not landing like this. I'm not landing where I'm not on my back, or I'm not like this, right? I'm not awkward, because like if I do that, right, I'm getting scored on. If I miss it like that, all of a sudden the ball's in my net. So and then I can get you a little pinch in there. I'll leave all of my videos unedited. I'll just, once you, if you're really, and I'll try and put this at the beginning too, if you're really into improving, you'll take a lot of the key points I said about boost pads and boost pad routes, and in another video I'll show you from a top-up view what that would look like. But essentially just kind of using these as your general guide, right? And picking up these whenever you can. Because it's okay to go over pads at any level when you're not supersonic and just stay in a good position. I mean, look at the best player in the world arguably right now, Monkey Moon. He's won multiple world championships because he's constantly in the right position collecting pads when he needs to be. And that's like a very dumbed down explanation of his gameplay, but when you think of Monkey Moon, you don't think of Zen, high flying, high action. You think of consistency and being in the right place at the right time. You don't think of stuff like this. You don't think of pinches like this. You think of, oh, the ball's coming to me? Oh, well, I gotta save it. Put it to the side. And then, oh, the ball's coming back to me? Let's pass it to my teammate. Ball's coming back to me? Let's hit it forward to the right. Let's put it back in our corner. It's just simple things that buy your time, buy your team time and space. And so, along with those boost pad routes, I know I went into depth, and we're pretty much at 25-ish minutes, 30 minutes. Another thing I will say, choosing a car and also camera settings that feel good. So at the moment, this is where my camera settings lie. This is what feels good to me. I've messed with this for a while, ever since I started playing the game. I took pro settings from Justin, Squishy, what other pros were relevant? Turbo Pulsa, who was 4-time world champion. I took a lot of camera settings from a lot of different people, and I mean, anywhere between, I think, 105 to 110 is good. Anywhere between 260 to 310 is good. Height, I think this is a good generalistic height. Your angle, looking down on your car, I think this is good. And stiffness is like, controls how rigidly your camera follows your car. I kind of like it to be loose, so I have it lower. Sometimes when I'm not feeling right or I want to change it up a bit, I'll go up to 0.8. but usually I have it at 0.35. And another thing is your control settings, your sensitivity, your controller sensitivity. This is what I like it at. This feels good to me. Again, you will have to mess around with this yourself. You're more than welcome to take mine if that's something you'd like. But that is what has felt good for me, and yeah. And so apart from that, while you also have to know how to do your things, it also helps to look good, and that makes you kind of feel better about your gameplay, right? Being confident, and this is one of the different things. So choosing a preset that you like, right? So I know I kind of mentioned this in my last video, but this is one of the presets that kind of helped me. I'm playing really well with it in my matches, and this one. So definitely making sure if this is what is good for you. I also play well on this card too. I keep it because it is like really easy to use, and it's not distracting like something like this, or this. Even though I do use these cars, the decal itself can be kind of distracting. So I say it can be distracting, but I mean that's just an example of like you can do many different things in different presets and different cars. And sometimes people like different goal explosions, like it makes them feel better. So for me, I got Cobalt Dueling Dragons. That is something you would have to buy in the as a blueprint, or if it would come in the item shop. If you choose to buy anything from the item shop or whatnot, make sure you support a creator. I currently don't have a creator code, so I can't help you there. Maybe one day I'll get one. But yeah, just making sure you have the right colors you want, because you can change to a lot of different colors for your blue team. And if you choose to have a decal, which I'll put on a standard decal for you, you can change your accent color up. And do a lot of different color combos that you would like with it. And then if you have paint finishes you want to use, you can also do that as well. And so I think another one you'd probably have would be this one. If you'd like another simple one, this is a really good, in my opinion. I think this is good. You'd have standard boost and probably the standard goal explosion. And so if you're on a new account, obviously you won't have all of these items. But over time, if you buy the rocket passes and you earn different items, because you also get free items within each rocket pass. So you could get a Dominus decal. These also reward you with different items. And just a whole bunch of stuff to customize. So that is it for this YouTube video. In the next one, I'll try to go over some shot tutorials and defense tutorials, and run you guys through how I train with that. I just really wanted to get you guys a more basis of how you could improve at the game, and just maybe flipping around the field and using certain pad routes that you could take, because I think that going forward, if you're going to improve at the game, you need to be able to use small boost pads because there are more of them on the field and they are very helpful when it comes to scoring your opponents. But right now, that is it for me. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with people that would benefit from this. I really just want to help players improve regardless of the skill level. I hope I can provide some information to even the top of the top players, the best players, and help anyone succeed, because it's a game that I think has been very there's a lot of different information out there, and I just want to put what I think is, as Mr. Waffle Waffles would say, no nonsense gaming. But for me, that is it, and peace out.